Is Formula One coming back to South Africa? Obviously, I'm asking this question because we saw these headlines here where it was said that the FIA has approved some of the upgrades in Kyalami to bring back the circuit back to Grade 1. Kyalami is currently graded as Grade 2 circuit, but it needs to have a Grade 1 grading for it to be able to host the Formula One race. So the question still remains, does this mean that Formula One is coming to South Africa? And the answer is a bit complicated. It is not a no, it is not a yes, but a bit complicated for now. And I'm going to try by all means to answer that question for you. But for me to better understand that question for you, I need to take you back in time. So we know that Kyalami used to host F1 races back in the 90s and 80s. In fact, the last race was held in 1993. And from then, there has been nothing. Well, it was until 2020 when we landed, there was actually a planned Formula One festival, which was supposed to pretty much lay the groundwork for bringing Formula One back into South Africa. The festival was cancelled, unfortunately, because of COVID-19. But in 2021, there was a bid that was submitted to Formula One to bring back Formula One back into South Africa. That bid was then rejected in 2022. And the reason that was cited for rejecting that bid was that the promoter at that time, a company called South African Grand Prix Association, did not provide financial guarantees. We also learned back then that the stakeholders that were involved in bringing Formula One back into South Africa at that time was the FIA, Formula One, Motorsport South Africa, Department of Arts and Culture, as well as Department of Tourism. So yes, government was involved at that time. In fact, we heard from the representative from Motorsport South Africa that government was not to blame for the bid being rejected. As much as that bid was rejected at that time, they did continue with the negotiations, and this time they were targeting 2024-2025 season. And the resolution from that bid was that they need to look for a new promoter. A new promoter was actually found, and it was a company called 777, which is based in Miami, and it was supposed to be the promoter now to actually bring back Formula One into South Africa. Well, that was until the Ukraine and Russia war. Formula One actually decided to withdraw itself from, I think it was Formula One and the FIA, they decided to withdraw themselves from all further negotiations with South Africa because it was same at that time that South Africa had aligned with Russia in the war. We know what happened that time. Nikita Mazepin was expelled from ever racing in Formula One again. Sochi by the Sea was also removed from the Formula One calendar, while South Africa was also pretty much blacklisted. Fortunately, that's not where the story ends, because in 2024, the newly appointed Minister of Sports and Arts and Culture, Getty McKenzie, actually made an announcement that he's going to try by all means to bring back Formula One. A lot of things actually happened after that. There was an association, I think, which was supposed to gather all the biddings and then submit them to the FIA. And that time we learned that there were actually 3 biddings. The tour from Cape Town, obviously with the street circuit in Cape Town, and the newly built circuit that was going to be somewhere next to the airport together with the Kyalami circuit. We later learned, obviously recently, that Kyalami was actually approved, which is actually good news. And a lot of people started asking themselves, does this mean that Formula One is coming back to South Africa? And unfortunately, it doesn't mean anything. In fact, this association that is supposed to take care of the biddings had actually said that the news is actually good news for Kyalami, but it does not mean anything. At the moment, the 3 biddings that are submitted are still evaluated, and new promoter is still going to be found. In fact, on the 1st of July, the Minister of Sports and Agriculture is supposed to actually announce the promoter that is selected, and as well as the bid. But the fact that Kyalami is going to be moving to Grade 1 is actually good news. Still a long way to go from now, but it is actually good news that the updates are going to happen in Kyalami, because that will mean that Kyalami is actually the first African circuit, or rather the first African venue to be liable to host a Formula One race. So yes, at the moment, things are still complicated. There's hope that the race is going to come to Africa, but we just need to be patient. It is not going to come in 2026. It might not come in 2027. But I think if everything goes according to plan, 2028, 2029, I hope this video explains everything. Peace.